She is Trysta Krick, and she is here with us. What's up, TK?
Good segue.
I got you.
There she is.
I got you, homie.
I always like Trista's accessories.
Yeah, her accessory game is super strong.
Always a big fan.
Thanks.
So you get bracelets, watch, rings. What else? Because we can only see your neck.
Oh, just for right now, just necklace. I was just moving. I had like 5 hits today.
That's not a singular necklace. That's like 12.
This is like a choker.
Shout
So I
out
have
to
a kind of a
Chris.
small neck. So it's supposed to go like this. And then this is like one together. So it's like just 2, but it kind of looks more layered.
Oh, it's layered. There's a lot.
Sometimes I put a little thing on this, like a charm. It's like
the accessories.
I know you don't have a necklace that's got your own name on it. She must have gotten that back from a man.
Yeah, somebody else. That's somebody else, man.
Somebody else has that one.
Yeah. And she took it back. Like, you don't even get to wear my name no more.
Well,
bro.
he got it in the safe deposit box. He still got it.
Yeah, just in case.
Yeah.
Just in case I get one more shot. I got my necklace ready. We welcome it. We were talking about the CBA, and you did a really, really good podcast with our guy Keith Smith about some of the finer nuances of the new collective bargaining agreement. Before we get into the fun stuff with the playoffs and the games and all that stuff tonight, anything really stand out to you about this new CBA?
I think the sports betting component is interesting because I don't know how you regulate it. So for anyone who hasn't gone through or combed through the CBA or hasn't listened to the episode yet, athletes are now players are going to be able to now have endorsement deals with sports betting companies. And we're not really sure what that means. Keith, who has been working for Spot Track for many years and has been kind of involved in the number side of the game for, as long as I can remember, Keith's been doing it. And I asked him, what does that mean? And he's just like, I don't really know. So it's going to get very murky, I think, or it could get murky potentially. Obviously, I don't think you're going to get players giving out their own props or anything or game lines for something that I didn't know until like maybe last summer, but NBA personnel can bet on sports. They just can't bet on the NBA. They can actually bet on college basketball. So if you're a scout for the OKC Thunder, you can say, well, I've watched Sanogo and I can bet on Sanogo. And that's okay. That's totally fine. So maybe you got NBA players that do something collectively with sports books like BetMGM. Here's something else that I thought was really interesting. So we almost got Giovanni Bernard. So TJ Houshmandzadeh was another player for the Bengals, and his flight got canceled when I went out to Cincinnati. And they said, well, we think Gio Bernard's going to retire. So we're going to invite him, and he's maybe going to drop the news that he's going to retire. Spoiler alert, Gio Bernard is not retiring. And if he was to step foot inside of a sports book, even just to talk, immediately NFL flag, you are suspended for a full year, no ifs, ands, or buts. So now I think there'll be situations where they can do that. Players will be able to go to these events and promote the book as like an ambassador.
And that seems fair, right? That seems fair. Like that seems excessive the way the NFL has it. We don't need it like that. But as far as like allowing them to partner with betting companies and things of that nature, I just felt like I don't really believe anything's going to happen, but I felt like it was unnecessary. You know what I mean? Like we didn't necessarily need that to happen. Just keep it as it is. Don't be as strict and crazy as the NFL, but I don't think they need to be partnering with a gambling company.
What if, say, Paul George wanted DraftKings to sponsor his podcast? That would be like a deal with a sports betting company. Yeah. And that right now I think is not able to happen. There's a lot. I think the thing that we forget is there's a reason that the new deal, the new amount of money rights deal that's coming in to the NBA is going to be so much. It's going to be possibly $75 billion with a B over the course of whatever the term of the agreement is. What is the number one reason for that? This is the whole point that I had a problem with Kyrie saying, we don't care about your parlay, sports betting is ruining the NBA. What we know is that ratings are going down in the NBA. We know that because of how people view and consume the league. right? You consume it in a bunch of different forms and fashion. It splits the pie in half. People are migrating away from cable, right? And so now cable companies are not paying TNT, ESPN. I mean, you know this, Damien. It's like just math. But like they used to pay $8 per subscriber to ESPN or $12 per subscriber. Now I think it's like something crazy like $3 per subscriber. And so you've got less subscribers and then you've got less guap for each individual subscriber. What does that mean? That means less money for ESPN to spend on broadcasting NBA, NFL, MLB, soccer, whatever. They've got to figure out that pie. So why is the pie going up? The pie is going up very simply because of sports betting. What, you think I just I'm the sports betting analyst for BetMGM for my health? I enjoy it, but that's where the money is, folks, and a lot of it. Pat McAfee got $150 million, and he might leave FanDuel and go somewhere else for more. So that's, I think, where players are like, well, if we're partners with the league and we're the assets for the $75 billion deal, then why aren't we able to get a little taste of the sports betting? You got Charles talking about over-unders and props and all this. He doesn't know what he's doing. Why can't we be involved in getting a little slice of that pie? So I get it, but I am curious about how they're going to regulate it.
Man, if Pat McAfee got 150, what do you think Trysta Krick gets on the market? Lord,
not bad. A lot less than that, but that's where my eyes are.
Balmer money. She getting that Balmer money.
You can check out the latest episode of Podcast P, available wherever you get. That's you laugh. That's what it's called. Podcast P.
Podcast P.
That's what it's called. Podcast P with Paul George. Wherever you get.
I like Paul George, man.
Well, so do I. So do I. And we'll use that as the segue. The 5, 6, 7, 8. It is messy in the Western Conference. Who do you think secures playoff spots?
So I think who has the best shot of getting, because they have more games left to go and they've got 2 games against Utah, is the Lakers. You would think that those would be easy games, but Minnesota just lost to Portland.
We've seen some weird things over the last few days that we don't have to revisit, but we've seen them.
And you never really know what the motivation is for the spoiler team. Who knows? Maybe they just want to ruin your day, like maybe that's what it is. So I think you could say academically the Lakers, but a part of me thinks it's going to be the Clippers. Now you've got a bunch of tiebreakers. So I personally think, though, what's going to happen is that they're all going to end up with 43 wins. Lakers, Clippers, and Warriors, which puts the Warriors at the 7 seed, which makes them a play-in team. And what I would hope for us is that the Kings get the Clippers without Podcast P, and then we send the Lakers over to the Phoenix series, which I think would be incredible. I think the best series is for me, my personal ratings, and just I think the best for basketball. 1-8 Denver Pelicans with a Zion return. Caveat is on the Zion return. 2-7 Grizzlies Warriors. Man, that's a bloodbath.
Yeah.
And a knockdown, drag out, pull your hair out fight.
Yeah.
3-6 Clippers Kings. 4-5 Phoenix Lakers. That's what I want to see.
The West would be popping.
Yeah. So there is a scenario, I think, where the Lakers move to 5th tomorrow night.
Yes.
They can eliminate Utah tonight, and they beat the Clippers tomorrow. They beat the Clippers tomorrow. They're in 5. Which flies in the face of Brian Windhurst, who said the mark is 6. So don't be surprised if the Lakers start tanking to make sure they get to 6 and play the Kings.
Yeah, I've heard that multiple times today, that quote, Brian Windhorst. Me and Brian usually agree on a lot. He lives in Iowa. He's not
watching. I bugged out when I found that out.
He's not able to watch like
Missouri or something like that.
That's Iowa.
Yeah, he's not able to consume like 4 or 5 league pass teams. So he's not going to legally stream. I don't know why, but he says he won't. So he can't get even on league pass. He's blacked out. And he can't watch like the Oklahoma City Thunder. You can't watch the Nuggets. He can't watch. I mean, there's a bunch of games. So we can't really blame him, but we can for sleeping on the Kings. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, he's in Iowa.
No, he gets the blame for this.
Okay.
Because he said the exact same thing that he said regarding the Lakers about the Warriors. Like verbatim. He said, Warriors are trying to get to 6. That's the mark. Get to 6. Take on the Kings. He said the same thing about the Lakers. It's like,
he believes that everybody wants to play the Kings.
But I'll say this. That thought isn't out of, like, I don't think that's something that isn't common around the league.
I think they want to get to 6 to avoid the play-in, not to play the Kings.
I agree with that 100%. But I think if you went around the Western Conference and asked who would you want to play, I think the Kings will come up first a lot of the times.
Yeah.
And I understand it. I think everybody that says that is in for a rude awakening. You know what I mean? Like, I think the Kings got something for all these boys when it comes down to it. But the rationale, I understand it. I get it. It's just that Windhorst, his argument was great. Like, they don't want to get to 6 to play the Kings, like you mentioned. They want to get to 6 so they don't have to be in the play-in. So they're automatically in the playoffs.
If I'm the Clippers, I'd rather play, I know this sounds crazy, but I would rather play a Suns team that I know for a fact I can strap Devin and KD and make Chris Paul's old broke ass, no shade to Chris Paul. And
no, why would that be shade? Old broke ass, there's no shade there at all.
And Ish Wainwright or Landry Shamet or whoever the other 5th player that you have standing in the corner just waiting for the ball, and maybe it comes, maybe it doesn't, because the Phoenix Suns offensively are not as deadly to me. There's 2 guys. I mean, DeAndre Ayton obviously is a legit scorer, but you can ice him out. I think Zubac can body DeAndre Ayton and get 15 boards on his head, putbacks. I love DA. He's one of my favorite centers in the league. He's just not that aggressive, and you can take him out offensively. So now what do you get? You get 30 from KD, 37 from Devin Booker. You're sitting there with 67 points. Maybe you get 10 from Chris Paul if you're lucky. That's 77. Oh boy, where are the other 50 points coming from? Yeah. Now you got so offensively, you don't have to keep up nearly as much without your guy in Paul George. Kings putting up 135. How you getting to that without Podcast P?
Well, you're probably getting those numbers become for the Clippers. Just talking about Phoenix, because with Phoenix, those numbers quickly become 47 and 40 for Devin Booker and Kevin Durant.
For sure.
And likely, probably. I mean, it probably some good points for DeAndre Ayton as well.
Yeah, he probably have 20.
Yeah,
he'll get like 8 in the first quarter, and you won't see him again.
Yeah.
And maybe
you think he's not aggressive, or he can't be aggressive.
I think the way that you can play DeAndre Ayton with KD and Devin Booker, they're just not feeding him early enough. I think you have to feed him really, really early and let him kick out. I don't know if Monty we know is not the best at in-game adjustments. That's just not what he does really well. And that's no slight to Monty as a coach. He's good X's and O's coach, but he's not somebody who's like, I need to, let's be honest. If there's any player he is not thinking about feeding, it is DeAndre Ayton. Yeah. So, although I think that is a mistake. So if I'm the Clippers, I would rather try to get 118 than 135.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think all these teams in the West, they have pros and cons.
Mm-hmm.
And when you match up you take any matchup, 1 through 8, 9, or 10, and you match them up with another team in the top 10, you can make an argument for each team. And that's what's going to make this so compelling. Like, take the Kings, for instance. I'm confident in the Kings. I feel good about what they can do. I am not blind to the weaknesses. I'm not blind to the lack of defense. I'm not blind to the fact that, there are some things that they're going to have to experience, like a series, and how I think De'Aaron Fox and these guys will be just fine, but I don't know. I don't know that. I have a feeling they're ready for it. So the inexperience, the defense, those are all things that you have to say, hey, that could be a negative for the Kings. But, you talk about their scoring, you talk about their ability to play on the road. Those are all positives. So I just think you go down the line and there's nobody without negatives or cons. Nobody. Everybody got, a couple of warts on their skin, so to speak.
Yeah, I am very not scared, intrigued, and a little worried about the concept of a Lakers series now that they've made those moves and Anthony Davis is looking so much more available and healthy. And that matchup between AD and Domas is just what I keep thinking about in my nightmares. Now, the hatred, the fanfare. I was there for the Lakers game. Yeah. I kind of want it, because wow, sending LeBron James home would be incredible.
Golden One Center would be.
Oh my God. What do you guys want?
I don't care.
You don't care at all.
No, because the Warriors. I don't think I want the Warriors. The Warriors is terrifying because Steph Curry is still on that team. I do believe. I do. That's a champion. I still think that's a championship caliber team. The Warriors could absolutely be in the NBA Finals this year. That's not even a remote stretch for me. I don't want all of the stuff that comes with it, with 95-7 and our company. I don't want to deal with that. I got enough to do. I don't want to do all of we got this email the other day, and it took everything I had to not cuss everyone out. Y'all got.
What did the email say? What did the email say?
It's just this proposal for all of these different things if the series happens. And it's like, bro, there are 4 people here. You've got 30. There's 4 of us. We can't do all of this. That's not how I responded. I was just like, yeah, unless this is making us money, no, we're not going to do that. That's a language that my boss can speak.
Yeah.
There's no money attached to this, so the answer is no. I just don't want to deal with all that because I don't mind being the bad guy. I'll be the bad guy to keep us from doing 10 hours of radio a day. The Lakers series, I would love that unless we lost. I don't want to deal with that. After 16 years, the Lakers did it again. Kings lose to the Clippers. They lose to the Clippers. Lose to the Pelicans. They lose to the Pelicans. But they lose to the Lakers.
It's kind of
all of these years.
Too full circle.
See, the Pelicans, see, that's where we differ. The Pelicans, the Timberwolves, the Thunder. You lose to any of those teams, that's a little like, the hell? We lost to these guys? I'm not saying the Lakers have any cachet, but one thing I will, because they do, but I'm just saying, I'm not saying that's the reason why. But you play the Lakers, you are on the prime time of all prime time.
Yeah, that's true.
And you got an opportunity to show the country.
That's true.
Everything that's going on with the Sacramento Kings. I don't want the Warriors.
Reggie Miller game. We get a Reggie Miller game for that one.
I don't want the Warriors just because a lot of the things that he just talked about. Although I've come around to it as time going on. It would be a lot of fun to have that Northern California thing. I don't know if I want that round one. I'd be okay with the Lakers, the Clippers, before my man Playoff P comes back. That's intriguing. I think you got an opportunity to make some things happen. And then also, I'd take the Pelicans and the Thunder too.
You would take them you think Kings can run them?
Yeah, they could beat them.
Pelicans and Thunder. Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, I don't think either one of those 2 teams are getting to the top 6, though.
Pelicans might.
Well, I mean, tonight will go a long way in determining where.
We handle business tonight. They won't.
Tonight will go a long way in determining where the Pelicans go.
Pelicans a half game back of 5.
It's 5, 6, 7, 8. This is going to be wild to watch for the next 4 days or whatever it is, 5 days. And Trysta's going to be here next week. Trysta's going to be here next Friday.
Is that next Friday?
Right? Yeah,
is it next Friday or is it the following Friday?
It's next Friday. It's next Friday.
It's next Friday. You're coming from.
Yeah, you're right. It is next Friday. Yeah, no, it is. It is. That's right. I'm getting my days all wrong. I'm going to New York tomorrow till Sunday, and then back, and then I'm doing this like it's like a little cocktail hour where Odyssey has got some brands there, and they're interviewing me with the PD from the fan. So I'm there for the day on Wednesday, spend the night, come back Thursday, do the show Thursday night, and then fly out to y'all Friday evening. I think I get in at 8. So
you got the direct. Did you find the direct, right?
I think I did get the direct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Out of
DC.
DC?
Out of IAD. So I got to get into Dulles.
Yeah.
Park the car, bring Emma. She's going to come with. I got, what is it? I'm not going to say what, but I found a spot near the Golden One. And I almost just
we don't need crowds of hundreds of people hanging
Nobody's coming to see me. And I'm not important. I'm not
that. The entire chatty house will be a Doko going, which one of these is she at? You didn't do an Airbnb again, did you?
No, I didn't. I went on Marriott. I'm not dealing with that anymore.
I just wanted to make
I don't think I'm an Airbnb guy. I'm just not.
Here's the problem too with Airbnb is that these owners never want to give you cable. So you never get games. They don't have League Pass. You got to try to set it up. You got to figure out Apple this, that. Like I got to travel with my Apple TV. What are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Like I might do something like you
Apple
go to the
TV's
snow,
like
you stay in a cabin, like an Airbnb like that. But if I'm going to another city, just like to another city, put me in a hotel, man.
It's better. And you get points. I'm like Titanium Elite. They give me a water.
Wow. Nice.
They tell me I'm like a great, like, you know, as somebody who grew up poor, having bougie things really matters to me.
Oh, yeah. I could facts.
You know, I get in first class and I'm like, you know, I don't think it's even like a luxury. I think everyone should have this. This is just humane. First class is just the only humane way to fly.
I wouldn't know. That's one that I haven't.
See, you get upgraded.
They only really have first class.
Oh no, they do.
I'm talking about the ones that I fly. You know, my Southwest, my JetBlue.
Spirit.
JetBlue kind of does. I ain't get on Spirit. Although I've been tempted to. I need to get on Allegiant when I want to go to Vegas.
It's a quick little flight. It's just really important to go cross country that way.
Oh, cross country, it's got to be JetBlue at the least.
It's important. I think I was able to upgrade to Arizona for the Super Bowl for like $100. And I was like, I'm doing that. 1,000% doing that. They offer it and they're like, hey, would you like? Yes. And you know, before you even take off, they're like, Miss Krick, would you like a drink? Yes, I would like a drink. I'll take a Coke Zero.
Coke Zero.
And they give it to you in like fine china.
Oh yeah. Yep.
They give you a little warm towel, and I'm like, yeah.
See, I bought a bunch of Coke Zero for it too, so we gotta
be ready to go.
Yeah,
ready to go.
It's going.
Well, we still need to do a little parlay out at the D-Lo crib.
Speaking of,
we'll do something. We just got to find out when the game is, and we'll plan around that.
Speaking of parlay, how did you do with the Final Fours, plural?
Made so much money. So much. So much.
You posted something the other day, didn't you? You had all the numbers scratched out. That's how I knew. Oh, Trysta made money on this one. She made so much money, she scratched out the numbers on the ticket.
People like to just be like, either that's too much or that's not enough. You know, it's always a thing. So it's just know that I got the decision right. Okay. You don't need to get in my pocket and figure out what I'm working with, you know? So I was undefeated night last night. I took UConn -6.5 first half. So that was an alternate number. I think the first half was 3.5. So I took 6.5 and then UConn to win the full game by 13.5 or more. That was plus 300. I had a bunch of player props plus UConn -3.5 first half. I took it by itself, UConn -3.5 first half. So I was feeling good. And then right before the Sweet 16, I took UConn to win it all at plus 650. So it was a nice night. It was all my coworkers were sad because they had San Diego State plus 7.5. And then I made a lot of money on Iowa beating South Carolina. I got them plus 500 to beat South Carolina. Once I saw Don Staley have trouble with Maryland, it's like we gotta figure this out.
We got action.
Caitlin destroyed them. That really is incredible. Caitlin just destroyed a team that was like 36-0.
Yeah.
And you know what? I was talking to my friend about this, and I had the same. I thought maybe it was just me who had this opinion and I was being dumb. And then he texted me the same thing, which is like, I just think Dawn Staley let her ego get in the way of game planning to swarm Caitlin. It was kind of like, we're not about to like double team this little white girl. Let her do whatever she does. You know what I mean? Like it was almost a lack of it. To me, it just felt like an ego thing, because ultimately her putting up 41 on your head is what got you out the tournament. And yeah, if they would have made their free throws, they would have won that game. But there was so much more that they could have done. They could have blitzed her. They could have trapped her. They just barely showed it all. You saw how tough LSU played her. They were bodying her, which Kim Mulkey was like, I don't care. We're going to just try our very best to shut her down. And then obviously all the extracurriculars after were
a win.
Yeah.
That was good. That was
well,
good.
I mean, and on all the opinions and this and that. And at the end of the day,
that exposed a lot of people.
Really
did. Oh my God. At the end of the day, the fact that all of Twitter was talking about Iowa versus LSU, aka women's hoops, to the point where it was like Skip versus Shannon and like Stephen A level discourse. I'm like, what world do we live in? This is incredible. Yeah. This is incredible. Debates about women's hoops. Flage's doing a collab with Lil Wayne. What world are we living in? This is incredible.
If you follow Lil Wayne's career, that checks out.
Yeah.
Lil Wayne's gonna
got a little
him.
Drake in him. He got a little Drake in him.
Lil Wayne's gonna find him the hottest college basketball player.
He got a little Drake in him.
He said we're gonna connect soon, musically.
Real quick before you get out of here, if they, which they should, Iowa versus LSU next year in the preseason. I told Coach Katz yesterday it's going to be the highest rated college basketball game of the year, men or women.
You guys want to go? Because it's going to be in Portland. No, I mean, quite obviously going to be there. Phil Knight Invitational, come for the day.
I can't get away during Thanksgiving.
It might be on a Friday or Saturday.
I can.
Yeah.
You can't? All right, let's go.
I'll go.
We'll
it's going to be
Thanksgiving, all that. Yeah.
It's going to be men's and women's. I also have a new strategy that I talked about on the show, which is you go to the Phil Knight, you consume all those basketball games, obviously the Bahama ones too, the women's that are there at the same time. And then from that and only that, place your tickets on title winner right then, because everything that we knew December 1st in college basketball is exactly correct. UConn, best team in the country. Alabama, frauds. UNC, not good. Iowa women's, good. UConn, sort of, we'll see. All that stuff. Xavier overperformed. Houston didn't play anyone. What's going to happen when they do? Nothing. All of that stuff, all those storylines from December 1st. Yeah, you got finals, and then you got this second chapter, and who's really the best? It's like, no. Just like, if you don't want to watch hoops the rest of the year until March Madness, cool. But now you have a 30-1 ticket on UConn instead of a 10-1 ticket on UConn.
You heard her. That's what we're doing.
That's why she's the best.
That's what we're
doing.
You
guys send me videos, man.
We'll send you videos. That's what we'll do. The playoffs will be set.
I see you later.
The playoffs will be set the next time we talk, man. So it'll be fun, and of course, you'll be days away from being back in Sacramento. Trista's covering the whole series.
I think it's 4 games, so it'll be 10 days, 4 games. Hopefully, it's in LA, so I can go down and parlay a little bit too. Do the show. I'm gonna do BetMGM tonight from one of our Odyssey stations.
Very good. Well, we appreciate you as always. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Appreciate y'all.